street.
I thought I heard something else.
Songs like that make you remember.
I thought I heard a whistle, like Dad used to whistle assembly call.
How could you hear that?
It's funny how sound stays with you.
It's Dad that stays with you.
But you couldn't tell where Dad's scientific management ended and his family life began. Even buttoning his vest from bottom to top, just to say 4 seconds. And what works in the factory will work in the home. I guess with so many of us, it was scientific management, or Bedlam.
Even with a dozen, I don't think Dad was satisfied. I remember him looking us over and then saying to Mother, "Only 12, Lily, but never mind that. You did the best you could." Maybe that's the time in a family, when you're all together, before anything's happened to any one of you.
When I think of Dad, I don't think of that. I think of him color chalking our fingers and the typewriter keys, so even the babies were learning the touch system. Or taking movies of us washing dishes so we could analyze them, eliminate waste motion.
Painting diagrams on the wall to show the solar system, or the difference between meters and yards, tapping out messages on Morse code, telling those that understood where candy was hidden.
And how he hated distractions. Remember those 2 noisy canaries he used to always shout at?
The one he named Shut Up, and the other, You Heard Me.
But the way I remember Dad best is, he'd come bounding up those front door steps, come roaring into the living room, pull out his stopwatch and whistle assembly call. That meant come running.
Come on now. 14 seconds.
Well, that's pretty good.
Only 8 seconds off the record.
Where's your mother?
Upstairs with the baby.
I had so many children because I thought anything that your mother and I teamed up on was certain to be a success. Now I'm not so sure. Let me see your fingernails.
What, Daddy?
Fingernails? Frank? Not very clean. And need trimming, Ernestine. Martha? Looks like you've been biting them again, Bill. Fred? Those are okay, Dan. Jackie boy, let me see your fingernails. Oh, Jackie, these are horrible, but never mind. I'll give you another chance to inspect your nails again. Now, where can I put these?
What is this?
Oh. It's something special, something interesting and educational, but lots of fun too. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, or maybe the day after. Next week sometime. Well, all right. These are 2 Victrolas and some records.
But we have a Victrola.
Downstairs?
Well,
These Victrolas are for the upstairs bathrooms. One for the boys' bathroom, one for the girls' bathroom.
the bathroom.
Sure, I'll bet we'll be the only family in town with a Victrola in every bath.
That wouldn't surprise me.
You see, I've been thinking a lot recently about the time you waste each morning in the bathroom. At first, I thought it was an unavoidable delay.
Here we go.
But then I thought of these Victrolas. You're going to play them every morning while taking baths, brushing teeth, washing
Why?
faces. Does there have to be a why for everything?
There doesn't have to be. But with you, there always is. When you start talking about Victrolas, dance music isn't the first thing that pops into our minds.
Well, I admit it's not dance music.
We might start thinking about dances. Well, then what kind of persons are they?
Oh, very interesting. And educational. French and German language lessons. Come on. You don't have to listen to them consciously. Just play them every morning, and eventually they'll make an impression.
Not every morning in the bathroom.
Now look, I paid $160 for this equipment.
It's not even unwrapped. Say, maybe you can get your money back.
I don't want my money back if these Victrolas aren't going from the minute you get up in the morning until the minute you come down for breakfast. I'll know the reason why.
One reason. It's impossible to change records when in the bathtub.
Nonsense! Nonsense! A person can get in and out of the tub in the time it takes for one of these records to play. That's why you're all taught motion study.
But you didn't teach us anything about taking a bath.
Aha! I'll now demonstrate how to take a bath without dabbing here and there and taking it out. Dad, Fred, come over here. Bring this little rope right over here. We'll pretend it's a bath.
You mean
right now.
I mean it was. Come on now, hurry. Here, that's fine. Set it right there. Okay. I'm now in the bathtub.
Yes, Daddy.
A little more hot water, Jackie. Oh, that a boy. That's fun. Now then, I have a cake of soap in my right hand. Pay attention to this one simple motion. Start at the top of the left shoulder, down the left arm, back up the arm, and down the left side. Got it?
Got it.
Good. Shift soap. Same motion other side, like so.
Don't forget the back of your neck.
Hi, boss. I'm not forgetting a thing. Take your places for now.
Glad you're home early. What's all the racket about?
Fingernail inspection.
How about yours? You been biting them again?
Let me see yours. Oh dear, I told you not to wash the dishes all by yourself.
There's already too much for the cook to do.
Well, I'll take care of that. Dishes or baking, it's all the same thing. It's just a matter of saving emotions. Now continuing. Pay attention now. All right. Give a little attention to the back of your neck and to your feet, and you'll all be out of the tub before you can say on shore. Now you know all about taking a bath. Put that little rug back up and take these victuals upstairs. Now, boss, I'll talk to the cook.
Come on.
Wait a minute. Which goes in which bathroom?
We'll give the girls a French.
I'd like for the French.
So,
Is so as French or German? I think it's Spanish.
Dad has a system for everything.
Even conjugating French and German verbs in the bathtub.
If he'd only think of a system for interesting a couple boys I know at school.
And what?
In me.
A person has to think of something for herself. I did.
What do you mean?
I had to do something. I bought some up-to-date things like other girls wear, and they look absolutely snaky.
Careful, he might walk in any minute.
Let him, I'm not a snake.
What'd you get?
Silk stockings.
Silk stockings. But we
They're
did.
right here, and I'm going to wear them. And I'll be out to lots of dances, and lots of boys will want to dance with me. I'll be a really popular girl.
And if he lets you wear them, he'll have to let me wear them too.
And me.
And we'll all be having dates and going to dances.
And we can talk over our different boyfriends and compare notes and golly.
Silk stockings.
Oh, Miss Fitzgerald.
And it's Daddy. Quick.
More efficiency, that's all I hear.
Well, if you just apply motion study, Miss Fitzgerald.
Motion study's all right, as long as someone else's motions you're studying.
You'd better get along with dinner, Miss Fitzgerald. My husband told you he'd take care of it.
Lincoln frees his legs, all but one.
Awesome. We'll handle this just like we would in a factory.
It isn't exactly the same.
Well, it's exactly the same in what works in the factory.
Yes, dear.
That's very good. I have a wonderful surprise for you. We're going to try a wonderful new idea.
What kind of idea?
We're going to set up a family council. Your mother's not going to run this household anymore. I'm not going to either.
Then who?
You. Bill? No. All of us. You're a democratic family council. We'll have a family democracy. Everyone votes. You'll be deciding things for yourselves. You'll work out questions that come up.
Gosh, that we will.
You bet we will. You know how I get factories to set up joint employer-employee committees to make assignments on the basis of personal aptitude, right?
Yes, but what kind of assignments, Dad?
Oh, every sort of assignment. This, that, even, oh, I don't know, maybe a few work assignments? Come on. You're going to love this. It's a great step forward. You'll see the Gilbert Family Council is going into session right now. Arrange yourselves. Frank, bring your mother a chair. We'll get right into the business before us. I now call this meeting to order. That means quiet. You'll notice that I'm installed here as your chairman. I assume there are no objections.
Chairman,
Out of order, Ann.
since this is going to be a democratic council, I think the chairman should represent the common people.
Very much out of order. The chair has the floor.
But you said you heard no objections, and I want to object.
Out of order means out of order and sit down. Now, the first business of this council is to apportion the daily necessary work about the household. Are there any suggestions? Well, come, fellow members. How do we want to divide the work?
I don't think anyone wants to divide the work, or otherwise be associated with it in any way, shape, or
reform.
Now look, in a democracy, everyone speaks. So start speaking. Dan, I recognize you. What do you think about this? I'm warning you, boys, speak.
Well, I think Miss Fitzgerald and Tom should do the work. They get paid for it.
Sit down, you're no longer recognized. Bill, I recognize you.
I think Tom and Miss Fitzgerald have enough things to do. So I think we should hire more people to help with the work.
You're out of order too, Bill. Sit down. What now, boss?
We could hire more help, but that means saving somewhere else. If we cut out all allowances.
Do I hear a motion to that effect? Who wants to stop allowances? Moving pictures.
Seriously, we'll all have to help.
I move the boys, cut the grass, and rake the leaves.
And I move the girls sweep, dust, and do supper dishes.
And everyone makes his own bed,
Except the chairman.
except the chairman.
All right, then I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, then motion carried. Now, there's no further business.
Mr. Chairman, I understand the purchase of a new rug is intended.
Yes, it is.
Can the budget afford such a rug?
Well, I'm not sure, Fred. Sounds like you may have a good point, boss.
I plan to spend $100.
Well, I move with no more than $95.
I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Looks like you lose out on that one, boss. Now, if there's nothing else.
Mr. Chairman, I move we spend the $5 we just saved to buy it from...
Now, wait a minute. Out of order. Very much out of order.
Dog would be a pet. Everyone that had him, I would be his master.
A dog would sleep right at the foot of my bed. I'd wash him when he was dirty.
No. A dog would be an accursed nuisance. He would be our master. Nobody would wash his filthy, flea-bitten carcass. And he'd positively sleep at the foot of my bed.
It's low.
Now listen, any animal that doesn't lay eggs is an extravagance.
I'm afraid you lose on that one, Bob. I think this council is a very good idea. There's lots of things we should take up.
Sure, the next thing I'll know, you'll want ponies. Roasters. Trips to Hawaii. Silk stockings.
Mr. Chairman,
What is it now, Ann?
there is still further business I wish to place before the council.
And it's important.
I'll show you. I'm not hiding a thing. I want the entire family to see. I bought silk stockings.
No! And you might as well go bare-legged as wear these. Frank, sit down. Why, you can see right through these. They're like the last of the 7 bells, Ann.
Well, now you know.
And don't you realize what might happen if you go showing your legs through silk stockings?
What?
Never mind.
Do you remember the time Dad and Dr. Burton had a long conference upstairs? Then they came down together and Dad was joking.
They were so cheerful. Gosh, Frank, when a man with a dozen children gets told his heart's in the blink, what's he going to do?
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, maybe that's why he didn't want you girls thinking about boys, movies, and sodas all the time.
It wouldn't contribute to skipping grades at school.
But the way I remember, the first boy to call, he came on the same night Dad had that big session with Dr. Burton.
I think that is the doctor went upstairs after dinner that night.
Quacks. You're all just quacks.
I hear it so much, there must be something to it.
Hey, the Gilberts are rugged pioneer stock. No time for nonsense like being sick.
What about the kid with measles epidemic last spring?
Well, probably the pioneers even got the measles.
It's possible.
You old fake, now you're telling me that I shouldn't take out any 3-year magazine subscriptions.
Absolute waste of money.
Well, how about a 1-year subscription?
I actually throw away my money. If I were you, I'd ask about a short-term subscription, maybe 6 months.
That's a mighty short-term subscription.
A man with your responsibilities wouldn't want to waste his money.
Ah, Mr. Bones. Hey, I don't believe a word you say. I feel too good. Besides, I'm too busy.
Fine then, I won't have to worry about it. See you next week.
You bet you will.
Hey, Dad, what magazine are you subscribing for?
Never mind that, Frank. Shouldn't you two be upstairs studying?
We already did our homework.
Well, you don't have to stop there. Always do more. Pretty soon you skip a grade. And by jingo, that's the topic for family council tonight.
What is it?
Hurry now. Let's go. Okay, take your places, arrange yourselves. Frank, bring your mother a chair. Right into the business. I now call this meeting to order. If there are any topics of general interest that you'd like to bring up,
I might sometimes see a boy who's in my history class.
He's a cheerleader.
not of general interest.
He is. We're all very interested.
Not me, I'm more stiff. Now, Bandit said that she might sometimes see a two-headed boy. Now, that would be of general interest.
I'd be very interested in a two-headed boy.
As for me, I have a really first-rate topic. I'm going to teach you a new method of multiplication that is bound to make a wonderful impression on your math teachers. Remember, lots of little tricks like these add up to skipping grades in school.
That of general interest, Daddy?
That, son, is a matter of the utmost general interest. But before we get into the mathematics, I have an announcement to make. I've been invited to speak at the World Management Conference in London. London! And despite the opposition of a few worriers, I intend to go. But by jingo, I'm going to leave this family in smooth running condition without a big load on your mother.
They're not such a
The
no.
most important thing is your schoolwork. I don't want anything to interfere with that.
Is
that?
I second the motion.
See, the most important thing in your life is education. Nothing should detract you from that. Are you in any way responsible for that noise?
I'm responsible.
Oh, and... Great Caesar! Sit down! What's that written on the car? It says, jump in, sardine. Here's your 10.
There's more on the other side.
Yes, and she could have a soda with them.
I think it might be alright.
I've already done my
We
homework.
have a mathematics project, man.
Couldn't I get it from Bernie's?
Tell you to stop that.
Joe, find the car in a minute. Dad, please.
Frank, I won't have your marathon.
Well, what do you want me to do? Go sit in the kitchen?
We're going to have to talk before you say anything to that boy. He might be very nice.
He's a cheerleader.
That's
Fine.
anyone who would think boys are more important than math projects.
Now wait.
Hey, the gang's all here.
Wow. We heard you.
Some more, hey?
My brothers and sisters.
The babies are upstairs.
Some family. Hey, you're the first cheerleader who ever saw the clothes.
Gee.
Say, how do you like my tie? That's the with and tell tie. You pull the bow and hits the apple. See? The with and tell tie. You pull the bow and hits the apple. Some tie, hey? Say, we're running late. We better shove off.
I think maybe my dad wants to meet you first.
I think maybe he
The
will.
gang's all down there. We ought to get going.
Hey, have you got time to show us how you lead a cheer?
I'll show you one cheer and then we'll get going, okay?
No, don't.
What are you worrying about? Come on and follow me. Let's have a hoo!
I'd like to meet Mr. Joe Scale.
How do you do, young man?
Hi, Pop.
Remember now.
Joe asked me if I have a soda with him. He says, oh, the gang's down at the drugstore.
Don't forget about our math project, Dan.
I'd like to go, Dad.
Well, I'm always reasonable. A soda shouldn't take too long, should it?
You mean I can go?
Well, of course you can, honey.
Oh,
Well,
Dad.
let's see. I can take time out for 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Take time out for what?
To chaperone you, of course. You didn't think I would let her out of the house alone with you.
What's wrong with me?
It'd take more than 15 minutes to answer that.
Right in front of everybody, followed by a girl's father.
What's wrong with me?
Young men, that is what they call a rhetorical question.
I don't care if it is. I'm not going to be chaperoned in any drugstore.
Please, Joe.
Don't you trust your own flesh and blood?
Of course he does.
Well, certainly I trust Anna. I trust all of my children. It's cheerleaders I don't trust.
I'll get someone else.
A judicious decision.
Just a minute, Joe.
I must have been crazy.
Someday, eh?
Wait until the guys run at the drugstore what happened when you dated Gilbert.
You're not going to tell everyone.
It isn't Aunt's fault.
Wait till they hear they'll get no more dates like me.
I don't know what harm could have been done
the movies. Yes, we'll have lots of popcorn and candy and have a wonderful time.
Nobody in this family understands me. I wish I were dead.
What a thing to wish for, Anne. Well, that's enough wasted time. I'm now going to teach you how to multiply two-digit numbers in your head.
Remember when the neighborhood Victrolas used to play that?
Those tunes made me think of a cheerleader back at Montclair High. I can't recollect his name.
Joe Scales. Some chic, eh?
Flaming youth that really caught fire, except at our house.
At our house, there was Dad.
And Dad picked that particular time to step up the efficiency program.
None of us knew Dad was sick, and a lot of times it just seemed like he was extra impatient.
Like the time the lady psychologist came to give us those examinations. If the psychology teacher hadn't been there, Dad had been roaring like a lion.
Of all the fine teachers here, boss, we had to get that one.
Yes, and I think she's not marking the papers very fairly.
Yes, she's blocking my plan. You see, I worked out an agreement with the superintendent. I'm going to allow his Miss Thrill to snoop around all she wants, and in return, he has to do something for me.
He's going to give out her diploma.
Well, if her marks line up, and by jingo, it better be. What's the matter with that girl?
I presume you're talking about your daughter Anne.
There's not a thing the matter with any of our children.
You'll find that out when you grade Anne's paper.
And when will that be?
Well, she'll be right back. She's the youngest girl in her class and always gets A's.
Where did she go?
She went to a movie.
These examinations are a little more important. They're for the superintendent.
I know who they're for, Miss Brill, and they're important to me, too.
The superintendent directed me to use exams. That doesn't mean I prove anyone graduating ahead of her class. And if she doesn't show up, that's perfectly all right with me.
She'll be back any minute.
Yes. What have you learned so far about the others?
The results aren't conclusive.
What's inconclusive about them? Did you ever mark a better set of papers?
I have to interpret the results.
Interpret? Here's something to interpret.
What's that? Yeah, what?
Come on now, hurry.
Dad, now.
Okay. Frank, what's 46 times 46?
21, 16.
Good. Dad, 19 times 17?
323.
Martha, 52 times 52.
2704.
Good girl.
You've coached them.
No, I've taught you. Do you know the capital of Columbia? Do you know the population of Des Moines according to the last census? Well, of course you do. But so does Dan. So does Lillian. So does Baby Jane upstairs. I'd bring her down, but it's time for her bottle.
Now you're being ridiculous.
Well, what's 16 times 16 then?
Well, really? 256.
17 times 17?
289.
Good. Boss, we're going to have to keep that boy.
Are there some questions you would like to ask?
To help you interpret?
I have all I need on these proper examinations.
No more questions? Well, then dismissed. You got two things now. Snap along.
Frank, tell Miss Fitzgerald to get some dinner work.
Yes, Mother.
There's no harm in home studies, but you shouldn't try to do so much with them.
And why not?
If everyone went in for irregular education like that, there'd be no system left. There'd be chaos.
Perhaps you'd better mark the papers and see how much chaos you find, Miss Brill.
You may use the study upstairs.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'll look over your shoulder.
I do mind.
Miss Brill.
The old goat.
There. Go up and lie down for a minute. Just so you should lie down for after dinner.
He's an old goat too, boss.
And little friend won't hurt you.
Come on in, Larry.
Just right now. I'm starved.
Well, go eat.
And don't worry, I don't think I didn't notice.
Notice what?
Remember that silly part of the movie? The part about love? I saw you hold hands.
That's a lie.
If anything like that happened for maybe 10 seconds, it was just because of the movie and entirely involuntary.
It was?
Well, it was just that kind of a movie.
Oh.
See?
Having you tag along is simply unendurable.
I suppose you think it's durable to me. I'm starving to death.
It was.
In case you don't already know, I have 6 of them. 6 berserk kid brothers.
I already know.
Thank heaven. Have a seat.
Say, I bet you're getting hungry.
No, not really.
Well, I don't seem to be very hungry either.
You're not?
Of course, I had an awful lot of popcorn,
And gumdrops.
but that never interfered with my appetite before.
Say, would you like to go to the dance?
I mean, I could probably fit it in, depending on when the dance is.
Tonight, a bunch of the seniors.
It just happens tonight I'm free.
Swell. I'll change you back in half an hour. I'm glad your dad's an old-fashioned about laying out on school nights.
School night? Wait, Larry. There's someone I have to check with first.
Some other boy.
Well, he's male.
I didn't think you were the kind of girl that stalls with all. Watch to see if she can get a better date.
I'm not, really, Larry. I'd love to go with you, but I have to get through a short examination first. And, well, like I told you...
Honestly,
I'd rather go to a dance with you than with anyone.
that's different.
Hey, Grandpa! When am I back this turn?
You don't have to sneak up on people. You might cough or something.
Just try coughing with your mouth full of peanut butter. I'm going to tell Dad we're back.
Bill, Mother said not to worry, Dad, but I wouldn't worry.
Well, says I'm worrying Dad.
I hope he doesn't upset your father.
He won't. He'd better not.
I've heard an awful lot about your father.
Lots of people hear about Dad and his work.
It wasn't exactly about his work.
The way he eliminates waste motions and things like that. When'd you hear?
Tell you the truth, well, I was almost afraid to come here.
No.
Well, I didn't know to ask you for a date or not.
You haven't been listening to that little cheerleader, that Joe Scale?
Well, how'd you know?
Really? The things that boy says about my father, why, he'd say
He
anything.
would?
You'd think my dad was some kind of monster when actually
Yes.
he's friendly, agreeable, and witty, and has one of the sweetest tempers, and...
So she's back, is she?
My little story's just absurd.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. You mean that boy's down there right now?
Yes, Frank.
I won't shush. I guess I better be getting along.
I suppose you have.
Yeah, I guess I better. Look at her, boss.
I told you, if I started dressing like the other girls, everything would be all right. I'd be popular.
Popular, missing dinner, dodging test. Why, you've started painting yourself too.
I haven't.
I can see the paint. Perfume. She's wearing perfume, boss.
She hasn't even had her dinner.
That's her fault. Perfume.
Just one dab, why not? It isn't painting or makeup, and it smells so good.
Why not? Because it stinks up good fresh air. That's why not, Ann. You're going to wash it off.
Oh, Dad!
And don't you realize what men think when they smell perfume on a woman?
I only know what one man thinks. He thinks I should wash it off.
Thinks nothing, and you get up there and take that examination.
She's going to read something first.
Me too.
I want to get the exam over with first. I've something to do later.
Probably something to do with that boy.
Why do I need a brother tagging along when I go to a movie? It's intolerable. Really, I don't know why any boy bothers with me.
Well, I know, Ann, even if you don't, and that's exactly why brother goes along.
Supposing I wanted to go to a dance, a really important dance that just happens to fall on a school night.
Now, we can talk about that when the time comes, Ann.
Mother, Dad...
No more nonsense now, Ann. Out all this time, missing dinner, dodging tests.
It's awful.
Bill, you go upstairs and watch with Skrill.
And,
Now, Frank.
all right, then you handle it. Painting, perfume, missing dinner. Thank heavens my other daughters are a little more sensible, not quite so silly.
It's motorcycle man. Maybe he'll stop this time. Hi, Ian.
You shouldn't have stayed so long. We worried about you, especially your father. I'll go tell Miss Bill you're here.
What's up? What's going on?
Larry asked me to the dance. He's coming right back for me.
Are you crazy? It's a school night. What are you going to tell Dad?
I don't know. I'd better get going on that exam. Is it tough?
Same old IQ stuff. It's a snack. And the word association test, there's nothing to it. She just popped 5 words out of you. Of course. It wouldn't be right if we told Ann the 5 words of the test.
No, it wouldn't, and I'd better get a move on.
No, you certainly shouldn't tell her that the 5 words are knife, black, foot, hair, and bird. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why did you do a thing like that? I'm already thinking of the answers.
Ann, aren't you ever going to get down to business?
Right now.
I thought your mother told you two to see to the babies.
We're seeing to them.
Sure, until a motorcycle passes the house.
Ann's just breezing through the test.
It's about time she did some breezing, boss.
I think she has a crush on one of the boys at school.
Here are the charts I've worked out. Rotations of duties and assignments, records of results. I want to get all of this functioning before I leave, boss.
I wish you wouldn't go. Dr.
Dr. Burton, we better concentrate on knocking a little sense into our older daughters.
They're perfectly normal. At least, they want to be. Remember the first time we talked about the family we have? Our wedding day? We said we have a wonderful life and a wonderful family, a great big family.
I warned you children from the basement to the attic, from the floorboards to the chandeliers.
And when we went for a Sunday walk, we looked at Mr. and Mrs. Piper.
Yes, Mrs. Piper, and the family's finally getting so it runs itself.
You got almost everything, Mr. Piper.
Thank you, Mrs. Piper. Miss Brill, I told you Ann to be back in time for her exam.
I don't think she's taking the test very seriously. She's just marking down answers on the page as fast as she can go.
She said something about being in a hurry.
Perhaps she has something more important.
What is it now, Ann?
You are instructed not to leave that table till you're finished.
I am finished.
That's impossible.
It's finished.
You answered all the questions, Ann, to the best of your ability?
Honestly, Dad, it was a snap.
A snap? We'll see how much of a snap it is.
You bet we'll see.
We'll just see how much of a... Dear me.
What's the matter?
There doesn't seem to be anything the matter.
You haven't found any wrong answers yet?
Not yet.
We'll just keep on marking, Miss
I
Brill.
will. Good heavens.
Yet?
No, not yet.
Just keep on marking.
I can't properly mark a paper under conditions like these.
Yet?
No, not yet.
Good girl, Ann. We'll tell the whole family about this. By Jingo, she's a chip off the old block. So now, all right, take your places, arrange yourselves. I have an announcement to make about your older sister.
Dad, she hasn't even finished marking it yet.
So far as we know, your older sister has just completed a perfect examination.
But Mr. Gilbert...
Well, so far as we know yet. And it looks very much to me as though she'll graduate at the end of this semester.
What's this about graduating?
Mr. Gilbert, you're instructed not to mention
Well,
that.
she's already taken her exam.
But she hasn't had the word association test.
Well, give it to her.
Here, now?
Right here and right now, Miss Brill.
All right, but this is very irregular.
Here, Ann, take your place. Are you ready?
Oh, yes, she's ready. I guess so.
All right, you know how it's done. Try to answer with a word you associate. The first word, knife.
Stab, wound, bleed, slit, throat, murder, disavow, scream, shriek.
Good heavens! You must have an IQ higher than Nicholas Murray Butler.
I read a lot.
Next, black.
Velvet, night, pitch, tar, ebony.
Good heavens! Next, foot.
Kick, shoe, walk, run, stocking, dance.
Next, hair.
Ribbon, hat, pigtail, shampoo, louse.
Next,
Egg, song, nest, fly, worm, hurt.
but I didn't say the word. All I said was next.
That's true, Miss Brill.
Let me see. The next word is bird. You said egg, song, nest. So you knew the next word was bird.
How could she know?
You did know, didn't you? And you knew the IQ exam too, didn't you?
No, it was just those words. It was just a joke. Sort of.
Oh, and...
How could you, Ann?
I see through the whole thing. You're all nasty little cheat.
Miss Brill!
I told them the word, and me.
Yes, you all cheated.
No, I'm the only one.
You're the only one who got caught. I see now the way you all get ahead so fast in school.
But I didn't know the test meant anything.
I'll certainly report this to the superintendent. And I'll recommend that some of this grade skipping you've done be thoroughly reviewed.
Just mine, no one else's.
A lot of you.
Gosh, Dad, I couldn't help it.
What do you mean you couldn't help it, Ann?
I had such a wonderful afternoon with Larry. Golly, he even asked me to a dance. But then this had to happen.
This sort of thing didn't happen until you got boys on your mind.
She's growing up, and other things are important too.
What, missing dinner, dodging tests, and now cheating on the exam as well? I can't have the entire program ruined by some boyfriend. This is the end of that nonsense, Ann.
You don't realize, Dad, when you're the youngest in the class and you feel you have to stay right up in the top bracket, you lose out on other things like leadership and sociability and going to a dance with a boy you like.
Who can that be?
It's that boy, Ann. She tells him to go away.
ready? Oh, the other date came through?
No.
It's perfectly okay. After all,
efficient.
And I don't understand why. Oh, never mind, Ann, just never mind.
I guess we just don't understand each other, Dad. I'll give a hand in the kitchen.
And Wayne.
Well, it was the only thing to do, really.
Sure, Dad. Come on, let's go finish raking leaves.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the babies. Dad, you'll be all right. I was painting the fence, but it still isn't too dark. I'll start paint.
I couldn't just let her run off to some dance. It's a question of the whole program, and that's much more important because time is so precious.
Of course it is, Dad.
That's the whole thing. That time is so precious.
Is that song just in my mind, or do you hear it too?
I hear it too.
I don't know why, but it makes me think of the afternoon Dad left for Urim.
The last time we were all together. Remember what Mother said? She was right.
When you're all together, it's the happiest time in the world.
She said it like she meant us to remember.
It never occurred to us Dad had any intention of dying till he was good and ready.
I think it occurred to Ann though, because she acted like she knew.
The way I remember, Ann spent the entire afternoon taking a review exam for the school board. She was late coming home. Dad worried he might not even get to see her.
He just kept watching for Ann.
Your sister should be through with the exam by now.
I set out a snack for you. No piece of food on train. There's ice cream and cookies for the rest of you.
Thanks, Miss Fitzgerald. Ann!
No, Dad, I didn't mean to be late.
How'd you do? Did you show that Miss Quill in the school
I
board?
hadn't finished marking my paper. I tried to explain I was in a hurry.
Well, I'm sure you did fine. It's just that you took so long. I was beginning to worry, Ann.
I don't know.
Well, of course you did. All you had to do was get that foolishness out of your mind so that you could do your best.
Dad, I did my best, but I still haven't got the foolishness out of my mind.
Ann!
I can't help it.
I can't understand why you haven't more sense.
Dad, were there any calls for me or anything?
Harry,
Did he say anything? Did you say anything?
I helped your cause.
How?
I didn't let him think you'd been studying for an exam all this time. That's so drab. I gave him something more colorful to think about.
What?
About all your other dates?
No! Now he'll think, gosh, Mart!
I can't help it. He's going to understand me.
Don't understand, man. Watch I handle Mac.
He won't even stop.
He better.
What do you mean?
This is the last time you see that one. You gave the idea.
What idea?
Nails and broken glass.
I was just joking.
You better warn him.
I think he missed.
Got it.
It's Larry.
What's Larry doing on Mac's motorcycle?
Oh, no.
The poor guy.
Whose idea was this?
Not enough to give you the runaround, now you're trying to kill me.
Kill you?
You got it all wrong.
Really?
People get put in jail for things like this.
You're not going to get me put in jail.
Well, no.
You can if you want to.
Why would I want you in jail? Even if you are running around with college boys when you're supposed to be studying. Even if you have accepted 3 fraternity pins at the same time.
If you excuse me, my ice cream's probably melting.
Why you put nails in the truck?
I didn't.
My ice cream is probably melting too.
I used to think you were so different.
I am different, I guess.
I used to think so. I used to think you were kind and sincere and knew about lots of things. I borrowed that motorcycle. I better see how much damage was done.
Can I help?
You've done enough.
Aren't you going to eat any ice cream, Ann?
I don't have much appetite.
Are you worried about the test?
The test and Dad.
Your father tries to do so much. Sometimes he gets impatient.
It seems like we have to make every minute count.
People get things wrong with them, man. Things like heart trouble.
Is that why Dr. Bird's always coming over? Mother, does Dad have heart trouble?
You're thinking it's much worse than it really is.
Oh, Mother.
It isn't that bad.
Boss, put up the cross-section graph.
I'll show them already.
What is it, Dad?
Well, it's 1,000 lines long and 1,000 lines wide. That makes exactly 1,000,000 little squares.
1,000,000?
You hear people talk a lot these days about big numbers. Not many people know what an awful lot of million is. You're going to see it every day.
Do you have $1,000,000, Daddy?
No, I have 1,000,000 children instead. Somewhere along the line, a man has to choose between the two.
I'll put it up later, Dad. I could explain it to me.
Later this afternoon, please. Jackie boy, don't you like ice cream anymore?
Me?
Boss, come up with me while I say goodbye to the babies.
What toys are you going to bring back with you, Mr. Piper?
Slide rules?
Why, Mrs. Piper, what a good suggestion.
Come on in, Larry.
Just a tire and a bit mudguard. It could be much worse.
What?
The motorcycle,
Oh,
they cost money, you know.
maybe Ern and I could pay for the damage gradually.
It was pretty old and beat up anyway.
But whatever it costs.
And,
Yes?
well, why do you spend all your time with college boys when you're supposed to be studying?
I'm not.
You don't have to pretend with me.
I'm not pretending. I wouldn't pretend with you. I don't think people should pretend with people.
Well, I don't either.
At it again, huh?
He certainly has a wonderful sense of timing.
I hope he doesn't upset Dad. Larry, Dad's leaving and all. I'd better see if I can help with things.
Sure, I gotta get up home anyway. Say, you don't really have 3 fraternity pins. I mean, how
Of
would
course not. I won't have time for any nonsense like that.
Well, what do you mean?
Sometimes a person has to push ahead with important things. Sometimes there are reasons.
Like going to a dance with me. That would be important.
You don't understand. I don't understand myself.
What?
Reasons. I can't explain. There's so much I'll have to do. There won't be much time.
Not even for the senior prom?
Gosh, Larry, you mean you're asking? But it wouldn't be right. I mean, with Dad away, things have to be pushed along.
You won't go?
I can't.
Anne, aren't you going to answer the doorbell?
Dad, I didn't hear it.
You weren't listening.
Hello, Mr. Gilbert.
Hello. And I thought you wanted to go to a dance.
I do.
Sounds like I have an eldest daughter just about grown up. Come in.
Who is it?
Won't you sit down, Miss Brill?
Understand you're leaving, so I'll be brief.
Did you mark my paper?
Let's have it.
Superintendent marked it himself.
Please, did I pass?
Let's have it. I have a train to catch in a few minutes.
It's obvious to me she cheated again.
Miss Brill.
No, I didn't. You watched me every minute.
I don't claim to know how.
Get to the point. I'm in a hurry.
She may fool other people, but she doesn't fool me.
So, what was my mark?
That's what I'm getting to.
Did she pass?
Yes,
Well, was it a good paper?
yes,
Was anything wrong with her paper?
no.
Good girl, Ann. Well, then there's no more question about when she graduates.
That's what I was told to tell you. I was told to say she's to graduate at the end of the semester.
By jingo, I knew it. That's great, Ann.
Swell.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Thank you, Miss Brill. Why, I haven't felt this good in years.
And I had to get on home.
Thanks for coming over, Larry.
About the prom?
What I was trying to say before Miss Brill interrupted us. It looks like you're beginning to grow up, Ann.
She is. More than you think.
Yes, and when a girl begins to grow up, it's all right if she goes to a few dances.
It's all right. I won't let it ever interfere with anything, Dad. Honestly.
Easy now, I believe you, Ann.
Have a nice trip, Mr. Gilbert. And don't worry about Anne going to the prom or anything.
You bet I won't. I'm sending Bill right along with you.
Really something the way you taught him. Well, goodbye. Be seeing you.
Be seeing you, Larry.
It's late. I better try and put your bags in the car.
Good. By jingo, just enough time for one last assembly call.
Come on, hurry.
Come on,
9 seconds. That's very good. Now, I'm going to have to be hurrying along to London.
Daddy!
No need for any last-minute nonsense. You know your jobs and responsibilities. My last official act before leaving is to nominate your mother as chairman of the family council. All those in favor?
Aye.
She's now your new chairman. Here's my whistle, boss. You're dismissed.
Do you have to go
Come
now?
here now.
Your father has to hurry.
Dad, before you go, there is just one thing I don't understand.
just one, Ann?
I think I know what he wants to get ahead, but everything you do to save time for everybody, what do you want to save time for?
Well, for work, if that's what you love best. For beauty, for art, for education, for motherly pay. It's for where your heart lies, Ann. That's what you save time for.
Right now is the happiest time in the world.
No waving goodbye nonsense now. Ann? Jackie boy? Ann? Goodbye, Jingo. You behave yourselves.
Fred, get your mother a chair. Arrange yourself. Chair in the board meeting. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman?
Mother,
Like in all families, we have to get on with the things ahead of us. I am now calling this family council to order.
Todd Zinner. Mrs. Gilbreth, Nadia Blanco. Frank Lee Pierce. Ernestine Jessica Lopez. Ann Vicky Martinez. Bill Efren Garcia. Jackie Chrissy Delgado. Martha Shannon Munoz. Fred Irene de los Santos. Lillian Julia Martinez. Dan Juan Renteria. Joe Scales, Victor Moreno. Larry Bobby Snow. Miss Brill Amy Salinas. Miss Fitzgerald Missy Crane. Dr. Burton Fernando Gonzalez. And now our indispensable crew that doesn't always get the glory but works just as hard, and we couldn't do without them. Blanca Luna, lighting technician. Kami DeGan, sound technician. Tiffany Overstreet, stage manager. Once again, we thank you for your attendance and we appreciate your support very much.